Hi, my name is Sammy Wilson. I am a senior at Bellingham, as my heart said, and I am really, really honored to be speaking at this awesome TED convention with all these other amazing young people. Let's give a hand for all the speeches that have happened so far. It has been amazing, and I'm just so happy to be here. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to protest negativity for everyone in this room, for everyone watching this video. I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about life on Earth. So, human beings have been living on Earth for roughly 200,000 years. The length of your lifespan, in comparison, is 0.03% of the length of the overall lifespan of humankind. Currently, there are over 7 billion people living on Earth and counting. In order to attempt to fully grasp the concept of 7 billion, you must first attempt to grasp the concept of 1 billion. Now, if you were to travel back in time 1 billion seconds, what would you travel back to? What do you think, like a week? A month? You would travel back to 1983. 1 billion seconds ago is 1983. Now, 7 billion seconds ago, the amount of people living on Earth right now is 7 billion and counting. If you were to travel back in time 7 billion seconds ago, you would travel back to 1793. The amount of seconds between 1793 and today is less than the amount of people living on Earth right now, and you are just one of those 7 million seconds between 1793 and 2015. Now here we have an accurate visual representation of the size difference between the sun of our solar system, or the star of our solar system, it's different, and our home planet Earth. The sun's diameter is 1,391,000 kilometers wide. That is almost 109 times larger than the diameter of Earth. The sun is so incredibly huge that approximately 1,300,000 planet Earths could fit inside of it. And here, we have an accurate visual representation of the largest star known to humankind, VY Canis Majoris, and the star of our solar system. VY Canis Majoris has a diameter of 2,800,000,000 kilometers. Our sun's diameter, in comparison, is roughly 0.05% that of Canis Majoris' diameter. If VY Canis Majoris, I almost said Canada Majoris, I don't know what that was. If VY Canis Majoris was to be placed in our solar system, its surface would extend out past the orbit of Saturn. That is how huge it is, and it is only the biggest star known to humankind. And as we all know, the universe is infinite and expanding, or our knowledge of it is expanding. And so there is most likely stars out there that are even bigger than Canis Majoris. And here you have a photograph. It's kind of dark, but if you could see it, this is a photograph of our humble planet Earth, taken on February 14th, 1990 by the Voyager 1 space probe from a record distance of 6 billion kilometers away. As you can see, Earth's apparent size in this picture is less than a pixel against the vastness of space. These colorful beams are bands of sunlight that were being scattered by the camera's optics. We are living on this tiny speck of dust that is currently being so gracefully and miraculously suspended amid powerful rays of light from the star of our corner of the universe that is enormous, far beyond our comprehension. And with all of this said, it is easy to wonder why it all matters. If you are only one in over 7 billion people living on this sphere of matter that is microscopic compared to the overwhelming beauty and size of its universe, how could your life really have any meaningful significance? Now, to answer this question, there are two things that are most important in understanding your life as a human being. The first is knowing why you are who you are. And this can be explained by the deoxyribonucleic, I wrote that down, acid in your body, aka your DNA code. Now, every single one of the 7 billion plus people living on this planet has a DNA code that is unique and specific to only them. This is how that works. Human DNA consists of about 3 billion bases. The order and sequence of those bases in your DNA determines the information available for building and maintaining you. similar to the way in which certain letters of the alphabet can be arranged in a certain order to form different words and sentences. Your DNA is so complex and specific to everything that defines who you are that if you were to lay out all of the DNA molecules in your body from end to end, it would be long enough to reach from the earth to the sun and back, over 600 times. This proves that from the very moment that you were conceived, you are literally unique among every other human being that has ever and will ever live, capable of abilities so distinct to who you are that no one else will ever be able to accurately replicate your life. Now, the second concept that is crucial in understanding your life as a human being is knowing how you are able to function, how you are able to give life to your DNA, the description of you. First and foremost, you are able to function because of your nervous system. Your nervous system controls all of your physiological and psychological reactions. Now, I know that this is sounding a lot like a science lesson, but trust me, it does have to do with protesting negativity, and I'm going to get there. So don't let your mind zone out like, oh, this is science, I don't think I can deal with this, I'm just going to, look at the ceiling for a while. It makes sense, especially since I wrote this and got it from all these really intelligent sources, and I am terrible at science. So if I can understand it, you can too. So bear with me. Your nervous system controls all of the physiological and psychological reactions in your body. It is divided into two main networks that work in harmony: the central nervous system, which consists of your brain and your spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which consists of all the nerves in your body that result from the functionality of the central nervous system. Your brain sorts out all of your sensory information. It gives orders to the rest of your body and carries out your most complex functions, such as thinking and feeling and remembering, while your spinal cord is constantly conducting two-way signals between your brain and all the nerves from the peripheral system in your body, thus allowing your brain and your body to communicate with each other. In summary, your central nervous system integrates the information that your peripheral nervous system collects from all over your body, responding by coordinating both unconscious and conscious activity. So when anything happens to you, the extent to which you are affected is dependent upon your peripheral nervous system's recognition, followed by your central nervous system's reaction to this effect. Without our nervous systems, there would be no concept of us, meaning that we would still exist, but we would not be able to comprehend and therefore make use of our existence. This is a scientific explanation for why you as a human being matter, and why every single other human being around you matters equally as much. Now that'll make sense in just a second once I explain it. Every movement that you make, every single thing that you say, every new day that you live to see is the result of a collection of systems working together to function properly. Now, those systems are completely dependent upon your nervous system, which is constantly reacting to every single thing that happens to you. And the number one source of influence that your nervous system reacts to is other people. Every single thing that anyone has ever done for you or around you, or that anyone has ever neglected to do, either for you or around you, has shaped who you are today. Because of the functionality of your nervous system, your brain keeps track of and uses every single one of your experiences as a foundation for your decision-making and overall thought process. So humanity is just this one huge infinite web of people who, because of their DNA code, are already infinite in meaning to begin with. But because they are constantly influencing each other, those infinite lives are growing more and more complex with every second that there is life on Earth, and that is amazing. This proves that you are significant, that every single person watching this video, in this room, in this country, on this planet, is phenomenally more significant in meaning than the vast expanse of this incredible universe, because although you are microscopic in the grand scheme of things, you are literally changing humanity with every single breath that you take. What meaning would our lives have, however microscopic, however infinite, if we did not influence each other's lives? Absolutely none. If we did not influence each other's lives, we would have the same amount of meaning that a paintbrush would have without having a canvas to cover its paint with. This is why how we choose to live our lives matter. Because it is not a question of whether or not we influence other people's lives. Because as long as we were living and functioning around other people who are also living and functioning, our lives will ultimately be shaped by the impacts that other people has had on us. So your life has been and always will be significant. And there is literally absolutely nothing that you can do to change that. But what you do have control of is how to use this significance. There are only two options for how you choose to use the significance of your life. You can either live positively or negatively. A person who is leading a negative life spends most of their time wishing they were in a situation different than their own. When something bad happens to them, they will suffer, and the pain they feel will seemingly outweigh every good thing that has ever happened to them. They will very often complain, succumb to boredom, and express intolerance. When you are leading a negative life, you are seeing the world through a filter that causes you to only see the things that justify the general consensus that life is bad. A person who is leading a negative life is most likely to have a negative impact on the people around them. On the other hand, a person who is leading a positive life spends most of their time feeling grateful for the situation that they are in. When something bad happens to them, they will stumble. But they will seek help from their loved ones so that all of the good things that has ever happened to them will seemingly outweigh the pain that they are feeling. They will very often give compliments, find ways to have fun, and strive to make other people feel accepted. When you are leading a positive life, you are seeing the world through a filter that causes you to see the things that justify the general consensus that life is good. A person who is leading a positive life is most likely to have a positive influence on the people around them. It's pretty black and white. It makes a lot of sense. But choosing to lead a positive life is by no means an easy task. Every single human being who has ever lived has struggled with obstacles that threaten to prevent them from leading a positive life. Every person in this room, every person watching this video, is currently in one way or another suffering from their own such obstacle. You could be suffering from being tormented by your past, your current circumstance, or the impending future. These are the things that are constantly threatening our ability to be positive. Abuse, loneliness, poverty, bullying, illness, war, rape, financial instability, addiction, and loss. Although it seems as though these could only be the reasons why we should succumb to negativity, thus giving up on our ability to change the world for the better under the stigma that humanity is too corrupt to be helped. All of these pitfalls of our lives are exactly the reasons why we need to fight to be positive. For example, when you see me, you see an 18-year-old girl who will be graduating from high school in a few weeks. You do not see a girl who has an immune disease that threatens her ability to fight infections and the development of chronic conditions. When you see me, you do not see the plasma infusion treatments that I receive every week or the medications that I take twice daily to ensure that my body will make it through each day. When you see me, you see a girl. You do not see my insufficient immune system, and you do not see my battle with chronic clinical depression. We have a choice in this life, and that is to either strive to make other situations better or worse. It is our responsibility as human beings who are sharing this truly miraculous world to treat each other with the grace and respect that we would if we were completely aware of each other's sufferings. And this is what society has failed to recognize. That even without knowing the details of each other's sufferings, every person in this room is at least to some extent able to identify with what each and every single one of us is going through. Because we have all felt alone and insignificant and worthless, and we all know what it is like to feel like you just can't keep going. Like you are incapable of taking one more step in this life. But these are the moments, sorry, I'm gonna take that back. There are moments in all of our lives where every single breath that you take seems to break you just a little bit more. But we are not alone. Truly, none of us are alone. And as long as there is even a single shred of positivity in the world, of hope, of love, and of life, negativity will never truly win this fight. Your life is temporary and microscopic and sincerely just a blip among this incredible expanse of time and space, but the impact that your life has on humanity is permanent. You truly are significant. Thank you.